While speaking at West Michigan University in 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. declared that there was a need in our society for brave individuals to be creatively maladjusted. He suggested that there are some things that we ought not become adjusted to. We ought not become adjusted to the self-defeating effects of physical violence, injustice, and morality. While incarcerated at California State Prison, Sacramento, several men whom you will see in this documentary try to exemplify this concept of creative maladjustment by finding artistic outlets to foster growth rather than succumb to the destructive patterns to which inmates often fall prey. This project, created at SAC, was inspired by a documentary called Louder Than a Bomb, which showcases several exceptional teenagers competing in the world's largest youth poetry slam. 31 men at SAC participated in poetry workshops over the span of several months to prepare for a poetry competition in which the winners here at SAC would challenge other institutions to a poetry slam. We would like to dedicate this DVD to the extraordinary Dr. Maya Angelou. Dr. Maya Angelou believed that you have to live your life in a way that you will not regret years of useless virtue and inertia. The men you will see here have spent an abundant amount of hours writing, creating, and performing in an effort to not waste away progress and growth. Dr. Maya Angelou said that we must prepare ourselves so we can be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. This is our hope for this DVD, that someone who might be going through a difficult situation or who may be discouraged by their circumstances would watch these performances or hear these words and then be able to begin seeing the rainbow in the clouds.
I'm finally on the path to true rehabilitation. This, of course, has come through education, an education that I myself had to bring upon myself. This has occurred because I wish to be better, especially for my re-entry into society. And now, because of the blessing of being on the best level 4 with the most programming, I have set myself on a course of betterment in every possible way. In order for me to start growing as a man, I had to reach a place inside, a spirituality that came through the agony of incarceration. I came to a place and a moment in this punishment where I developed a natural desire to begin to educate myself. Education became a form of therapy for me, in that it began to give me the tools and answers to all my hard questions. Through books and extensive pieces of writing, that wisdom gained helped me cope with my loss of freedom. This is called insight, and insight is exactly what I have attained. Through self-teaching, I've gained a new perspective and way of thinking, which helps me understand my past, why I chose the wrong path, and what it is I wish to do about it, so that I do not ever resort to criminality again. But now, instead of having to fend for myself with my own self-teaching, which consisted of books, writing, self-help correspondence courses, I now also have the other missing pieces that come through group settings like this, that provoke a deeper enlightenment, that is spiritual, emotional, raw, encouraging, and above all, inspiring. This has come through participating in yoga, creative writing, Buddhist meditation, AA, men's group, and Toastmasters. These are all forms of education, and thus I am clearly rehabilitating myself. Yes, it is true that all this helps me impress the commissioners of the parole board, but I swear to you that this education is what keeps me sane and helps me maintain hope, which is priceless. And now through this workshop, you all are giving me the enrichment, empowerment that I, Chris, search for. And that search is to feed my damaged heart and psyche with the nourishment of your profound stories that touch my soul. And that, my friends, is the best education I can ever receive.
I found a new style that outside of the normal, just laid back and what I consider smooth poetry, I have something that allows me to express a lot of fire, um, like I said before, express that energy. Being able to see and get an idea of what dudes are thinking, what's really on their mind, and what's important to them.
I appreciate this class because I like to write, for one, and it's an outlet. It's an outlet for me at times. It helps me escape my surroundings, my environment, but it puts me in another environment where I'm around like-minded, mature men, adults, that help strengthen me, as well as hopefully I give them the same, you know?
What I got out of this class is that it's someone here from all walks of life, and we are interacting with each other, which in turn helps us to better ourselves and help build society as a whole when we are released back into society.
I love to write, like Woody said, Mr. Garcia said, excuse me. And I have a saying that I picked up in the 8th grade. It says, words make man free, for whomsoever cannot express himself is a slave. So I feel that writing allows me, and anyone for that matter, whether they're writing it or hearing, to become freed from whatever it is that they may be going through. You know, it may free you from anger, it may free you from depression, it may free you from feeling inadequate about self, whatever the case may be. You take the time to write, and it gives you the opportunity to articulate what it is you're feeling inside, and in doing so, you free yourself from it and get opportunity to see it abstractly on paper outside of yourself, and you get to reassess it. You know what I mean? So you become free of whatever it may be. So I feel that writing, this class in particular, and writing is a powerful tool, because all around us, everything is comprised of words, from the Constitution to the Bible to the Quran, you name it. It's majority all words. So words are very powerful. And I feel to believe that they free us. So
I feel like everybody should write because it's almost like a step towards self-healing. Like, we all go through different things in our lives, and some things we can't express to other people, or we don't want to express to other people. And until you can get to that point where you can express them to other people and maybe help yourself to get over them, you can express them on paper to yourself, and then as you read them later, maybe help you to get over things that you've been through, or help you to see things from different perspectives, or to see that, okay, well, I thought I was right in this particular point in time, but in actuality, I was completely wrong.
And I feel to believe that some people are shy or not willing to articulate what they feel inside because they haven't been presented an opportunity to nurture that ability. And this class is an opportunity to nurture that ability. And because some people just quite frankly haven't had that, they feel like that. They feel like if my thoughts were meant to be known, I probably would have a screen on my head reading my thoughts. You know what I mean? Well, some of us don't mind speaking or orating in front of folks. So I think it all boils down to never having an opportunity to foster or nurture that ability. But if given that opportunity, any of us could do it.
The world moves on and waits for no one because we can all be replaced. Thinking that you're irreplaceable is considered a defect of character. This hinders you from growing spiritually, emotionally, and eternally. At times, we need to remind ourselves that life goes on and the world moves, and the world waits for no one. Therefore, we should sharpen each other by offering ourselves with a pure heart. As a result, you'll watch others grow, and they'll share the same kindness and compassion that was shown to them. God gives us spiritual gifts so we can share with one another. Keeping them to ourselves puts them to waste. So pave the way for the next man, because his accomplishments will be a result of your good nature.
Please allow the ink in my pen to push minds to further thoughts. The last of a dying breed in a society that is lost. Great thinkers hide behind the lines of secret societies, while the average human being is trained or taught on how to think. Mind manipulation and brainwashing so far as sham, a product of our environment with no knowledge to understand. New laws are being made to keep us all locked away, and a modern-day slavery materializes more each day. The house slave against the field, the lighter against the dark. Instead of fighting with our ink, we rather tear each other apart. Education is being cut more and more each day to fund a war that makes no sense. Didn't we capture Saddam Hussein? Media paints a picture of what they want us to think. If we release all these prisoners, the crime rates will peak. We're afraid to think for self, so we join the majority and put our future in the hands of someone who will stand up and speak. Modern day technology captivates the human's eyes. Our children are raised off video games and cell phones run their lives. Schools become a second choice and parents do not preach the knowledge, the value of education, so thinking becomes more obsolete. What happened to the scholars and the great philosophies? What happened to the teachers who were motivated to teach? We come from a line of social activists who fought for the rights of every man that exists. Great preachers of peace, like Dr. Martin Luther King, who spoke out to the nation in a speech called, "I Have a Dream." The Black Panthers push education. They wanted our kids to eat because the lack of nutrition wouldn't allow our kids to think. I write from a poetic bloodline, poetic, that's for sure. The last of a dying breed here to open your mind's door. Great thinkers come from knowledge. It is wisdom that we seek, so I refuse to become a victim of modern society.
Out of all the power in the world that one could possess, I never knew that I could have a weakness till I met my baby girl. Tickling her feet while seeing her smile. I knew at that moment that I could love me. I could love. Seeing her pretty brown eyes, caught me by surprise. But I knew at that moment that I could love, because loving my baby girl makes me weak, but I can love my baby girl.
With each year that passes, the more I understand what it actually means to fully be a man. It's sobering to realize how wrong I once was when I thought being a man meant having peach fuzz. But hair under my arms and hair down below only meant I'd reach puberty and not a thing more. And there was a time I believed that pulling down her panties was all that was needed to make a man out of me. In my mind, I just knew that being a man was predicated on how nice I was with my hand. So with that logic, I set out to whip anyone who opposed me just to prove I was hip. I looked up to the gangsters, pimps, hustlers, and thieves, because they were who represented real men to me. In my mind, to be a man, you had to be a G. And if you wasn't, then you wasn't. Nothing to me. Nowadays, I understand that truly being a man means protecting and providing for the women and children of your fam. Laugh all you want, scoff if you will, but to be a real man, you must always pay your bills. I no longer think the man is only who won the fight, but still a man must have the courage to stand up for what's right. It was never about how many chicks I could get, more so about how many I could be honest with. Being a man these days, at least to me, means accepting and living up to all of your responsibilities. It means being there for and helping to guide your seeds, regardless how frustrating to do so may be. To be a real man, you must be willing to grow and accept you don't know everything you think that you know. So with this new insight, I've become a more compassionate man, even though I'm still trapped in a violent, cutthroat land. And I'm not saying those traits were never inside me, nor am I judging the lives that others still may lead. But as I've matured, I've learned to live and let live. Be tolerant, understanding, and of myself freely give. No longer am I angry or full of ill will. I understand the meaning of life, and I know what it means to kill. So I strive to be a man, not a gangster. Don't want to be bad to the bone. I don't want to be bad to the bone. I'm more into quiet reflection and cherished time spent alone. The brash, heavy drinking, extroverted loudmouth has been replaced by a man who just wants to chill out, lives to do yoga and watches chick flicks. And that some make me cry, I'm man enough to admit. See, I'm not a slave to my pride or what others may think. And nor am I one of those men who think his boo-boo don't stink. Now, I know I'm not perfect, so I don't pretend to be. But I'm aware of who I am, and I'm okay being me. Yes, I once had a temper that I couldn't control, but through meditation and practice, that's the Kev of old. Yup, in this environment, this is a hard walk to walk, but I'm living my truth and ignoring negative talk. True, it's tough, and at times, I'm put to the test, but I stay focused through the setbacks and give every day my best. Change hasn't been easy, nor has it been free. I wasn't too fond of the old, but I love the new me. Because at 20, I was one man. At 45, I'm another. Same face, same skin, but completely different brother. Because with each year that passes, the more I understand all that it entails to truly be a man.
Men call. Mr. Wise. What's the last two?
5-5. On that letter. Thank you.
Well,
Oh. For my young friend again. For you, I done lived my life for you. I made a sacrifice for you. I done paid the price for you. This young brother said, filthy. I'm 18 and ain't got sense. No daddy, no mama, no family, no chick. No pot to piss in. No window to throw it. Never lived in a city. No winter where it's snowing. Ain't filthy, how I feel to do shows with celebrities. I never felt that because I was doing time with felonies. I slid for my homies, did bid for my homies, facing life without parole. I never snitched on my homies. Filthy, I ain't got 1 cent from my homies. No cards, no letters, no flicks from my homies. I heard you had a family. Oh, Filthy, what it's like. I know it must feel good to read the letters that they write. Hey, Filthy, don't judge me. But just last night, I cried in my cell telling God this ain't right. I heard about your case, Filthy, man, life sucks. But you just like me. All you have is bad luck. For you, I done lived my life for you. I made a sacrifice for you. I done paid the price for you. Yes, yes, it's true. No one else but you. I seen your pictures. You used to rap for Mike Gaps. I could have blew up like you if I'd have took the right steps. This your mom right here? Man, she 50 and she beautiful. My mom died. They wouldn't let me go to her funeral. Your son is your twin. Y'all both got the same eyes. Is it true we got hit by a car and paralyzed? Do you believe in karma? Hey, Filthy, don't lie. Tell the truth. Do you think that it's a God up in the sky? It's a block on my phone. My girl ran off. Taught her how to go hard, but my woman went soft. I got caught and shipped off, and my woman spent off. My woman turned to a poodle when you ain't a big dog. Let me ask you a question. Filthy, keep it real. Should I box up with 12 or take the prosecutor's deal? I ain't been getting sleep. I keep taking psych pills. Life going up and down. It feels like a Ferris wheel. For you, I done lived my life for you. I made a sacrifice for you. I done paid the price for you. Yes, yes, it's true. No one else but you. Today's the big day. I gotta dress out. Going through deliberations. Got a brother stressed out. In the courtroom. I hope I get fresh out. I'll probably smoke a blunt, pop a pill, and get X'd out. All rise. Now the judge, he got a big smile. He ain't like me anyway. He happy that it's his child. He don't know how I grew up as a child, in and out of group homes, YAs, and juveniles. Filthy, I ain't even tell you I was traumatized. Daddy used to beat mom and black up both my eyes. Come home drunk, coked up with attitudes. I lost sleep many nights thinking about smacking dude. I used to hate coming to the house after school. Mama got some new dude coming out the bathroom. Where I lived, there was violence all afternoon. I seen people dead with a chest full of magnum wounds. I bet the system don't know I didn't have a chance to get up out my rap sheet. They'll never understand. 13, I was trying to live as a grown man. No father figure, so of course I made the wrong plans. In the hood, they don't teach you how to do math. It's low guns, bad crack, pimp girls, and shoot craps. If you do make it out, it's a miracle. Lucky charm, rabbit foot, blessed or just spiritual. Filthy Phil, big homie, I done lost friends. I seen kids get killed, their whole skull knocked in. Why you think I've been out here clocking, squeezing and rocking, X-Pill popping? Wait a minute, they gonna read the verdict to me, Filthy. Quiet in the courtroom. What do the defendants stand? Has the jury reached a verdict? All charges beat on the murder one, not guilty. Wait. On the murder one, not guilty? All charges beat on the murder, not guilty? For you, I done lived my life for you. I got your letter. Made a sacrifice for you. And I read between the lines. I done paid the price for you. Yes, it's true. No one else but you. So I'm gonna respond to your letter. Live my life for you. Hoping before you get out. Made a sacrifice for you. Just pay attention. Live my life for you. Yes, it's true. No one else but you. It's good to hear you beat your charges. But just know, even though you're going home, young brother, slow your roll. Yeah, I'm the brother that you heard about doing shows. It's me in the flesh. I'm the legend if you didn't know. It's Filthy Phil, there is none better. Yeah, I'm from the city of snow. Brothers got hot ones in their sweaters. When I opened up a letter from mom, brother, I cried too. My uncle, my grandmother, and my best friends, they died too. I used to slide through the hood with the big shots. One day I got shot, almost got Kid Rock. My mom used to smoke crack. She even tried dust, so I know what it feels like to ride on a city bus. It was shelters, projects, and trailer parks, pork and beans, Payless, Goodwills, and Kmarts. My friend died in my arms. I was 95. I was built for a tough, but I witnessed a strong survive. I believe it's a God up in the clouds. Only he can judge me if I do have to go to trial. Yeah, my son got paralyzed at age 4. I believe in karma. Me and her, man, we stay at war. Yeah, I used to rap with Mike Epps' little homie. Back then I was hot, now I'm not, they don't know me. Getting out popping pills is a bad choice. And I ain't trying to preach or trying to speak in your daddy's voice. Because my pops did things I couldn't speak about. He introduced my mom to cocaine and had her tweaking out. I know it's hard, but you gotta take it one step. The courtroom's a battle, but the wars ain't been won yet. You can't even change his pampers when your son wet. You locked in a cage, and your son ain't even won yet. I can't walk in your shoes because they don't fit. Word of advice, you don't need to run with no cliques. No gangs, no drugs, get you one chick. Live your life, pray to God. Young brother, don't quit. For you, I done lived my life for you. I made a sacrifice for you. I done paid the price for you. Yes, it's true. No one else but you.
I spend a major chunk of my time contemplating rhyme and reason, trying to understand the hearts of men that change with the seasons. Why is there nothing sacred amongst the masses? And why do grown men celebrate and perpetuate being jackasses? And why did I join in? The biggest mistake of my life was taking life for granted. Now I'm alienated on another planet and my mission is simple enough. Proclaim your humanity. Because I don't want to be defined by someone else's mistake. My development depends upon being fully awake, consciously putting one foot in front of the other as I move towards becoming the man my grandmother raised me to be. If I think too deeply about it, I may shed tears, which is one of the reasons I spend 98% of my time in silence. But now, y'all know my fears. And please, don't judge me, but let he who is without sin take a knee and give thanks to the Almighty for sparing them the things that I had to see. Because life in my city, it wasn't pretty, but it had its moments of splendor. I'm told the devil's in the details, so to him, I won't surrender. I will not surrender. Just take a look into my eyes and let them convey my story. I grew up fast out of necessity. Today, they grow up fast chasing glory.
If the Lord really knows and sees everything that I'm thinking, then he knows life's hardships and troubles are what keeps me drinking. And he knows that I'm trying to do right to the best of my ability. And sometimes, violence is necessary to stop another man from killing. And he must know I'm confused on what society teaches, that I've been slandered by preachers and other religious speakers whose words spread like diseases that are highly contagious. It's a plantation mentality that's been around for ages, that captured and caged us, and then told us that we weren't equal. Then used religion to brainwash us and stagnate us as a people. It's hard, but I can see through, and it brings tears to my eyes. No more waiting for miracles or angels to materialize, because heaven is a state of mind. God is in everything around us. And hell is knowing that ignorance is the only thing that ever bound us.
Say hello to my little friend, which is his ink pen. I will always win. The battle to the top, it just can't be stopped. Oh, I forgot. This is reality. Step up to the plate, and everyone wants to battle me. Rattle me to the dirt, leave me left to be hurt, but I keep my gangster smirk. All day, every day, till the day I die. A hardcore gangster slamming, poetry slamming person that will look you straight in the eye. Die for the pride of my life, speak my insight, keep it tight. Write what I feel, never kill or steal, just keep it banging. That's what this homie's bringing. I've done them days of slanging, game rearranging, gang banging, earning my name in this life of pain, where everyone's out to ruin your name and make you feel ashamed of what you create, cause deep down inside they're fake, trying to perpetrate something they're not, yapping at the mouth until they get shot. Stop, you forgot, life is so nice, so live it wise. Officer, I just wish you could see the bigger picture. I'm just a victim of society. These streets got me stuck, but I won't ever give up. These streets got me stuck, but I won't ever give up. I grew up rough, tough, but not to give a heck about what happens next. Just ready to wreck in steps. Put this microphone and poetry slam in check. What the heck happened to my life? I'm stuck inside this hole, praying to the Lord for support through these streets. Brothers getting weak at the heart. Fate stuck in the dark, life's falling apart. Give me a new start, let me ride, survive, let me out. I'll maintain, I just need to be trained. I just wish you understood how it is. I'm away from my kids. They're growing up without their dad. The cycle continues. We need to find out a new way to rehabilitate each other. Free, that's where I want to be. I shouldn't have done what I did. I messed up big, it's my life. I shouldn't have lived it on the wild side. I'm just glad I didn't die. I just want to sit back and cry, take a peek at my past life, and to scoot up, I'll be on the outside looking in. But now I'm locked behind a solid steel door, walking around on my concrete floor. I done it to myself though, so I might as well accept it and go with the flow. Free, that's where I'm gonna be, 2015. I hate it when people look at me and all they see is the bad guy. These streets got me stuck, but I won't ever give up. Free, that's where I'm gonna be, and this is reality.
The cell I live in is lonely. What if? What if? What if you were me and I were you? It was you walking this Folsom prison yard. Would you know what to do? Would you know how to survive among sharks and snakes? To be a real warrior on this GP line, would you have what it takes? Lost to this world that is unknown. Raised by the state, now you're full grown. Your only escape is here through your poems. Tears bottled up inside that will not fall. Somebody just got blasted. Your recall. Would you stay strong and mentally sane? Would you overcome and endure all your fears and pains? Would you search for inner peace and become a better man? Or will you become just another victim of Uncle Sam? Life is what you make of it, no matter where you're at. Never give up faith. There's always give back. What if? If I never shot that man, will I be in prison today? If I never came to prison, will I still be alive with all this to say? Yet here I am with my heart in my hand. To break the cycle is my plan. Doing all that I can to become a better man. Cards on the table here in this poetry slam. 16 years I've lost to this place. I would have been home if I wouldn't have caught another prison case. My family members now dead and gone, while I stand before you and sing this song. This cell I live in is lonely. This is my life, and this is what I must go through. So the question is, what if you were me and I were you? Would you give up and throw in the towel? Or would you make a difference in life and show the next generation how? Listen, we've done what we did, and that's our past. We teach our children now not to live life so fast. So learn from my mistakes. Please, learn from my mistakes, and let me show you how. I've said all that I had to say, and with that, I return to my cell.
I was living life like there was no tomorrow. Meanwhile, light swept on like clouds descending from the sky. I, though swept away in thought, was not swept away by the raging wind. People I love waved. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they were reaching out for help. Help that was not properly forecast because I was swept away in thought. How many people have swept right past me while I was swept away in thought? The winds of reality are frostbite in my mind because while I thought of ways to save the world, the opportunity to save the one swept by. Rewind, the winds of reality are frostbite in my mind because while I thought of ways to save the world, the opportunity to save the one swept by while I was swept away in thought. Meanwhile, light swept on like clouds descending from the sky. Meanwhile, light swept on like clouds descending from the sky.
Where the spirit does not work through the hand, there is no art. Leonardo da Vinci. Where I am right now is on the precipice of rebirth. I am resting with my ancestors in the bowels of the earth. And what I feel right now is strange fire in my bones, a prophecy of lightning to be told in thunder tones. And what I need right now is a moment of your dwindling time. What I believe in right now is the immortality of my rhymes. We can drown in my noun, smoke some herb with my verbs, enjoy the now, come back down, try to remember all we've heard. Try to remember, try to remember. The voice of God heavy on our own vocal cords, urging us to free our inner peasants and overthrow the overlords. And what we need right now are pens mightier than swords. Where is the land of the free? What is the home of the brave? Where I am right now, I'm scared shitless, undead in my own grave. And what I've been wondering, but still can't quite tell is, if my friends keep showing up, will this hell become less hellish? What sustains me right now is the freedom of the craft. What sustains me right now are my comrades on the path. And what I need to say right now is thank God for Robert Bly, for Gwendolyn Brooks, and Naomi Shihab Nye. Thank God for Jane Cortez and Dr. Sonia Sanchez, for Mary Baraka and Jimmy Santiago Baca. And what we need right now is to remember who we are. Comets burning, flaming out, headed for a distant star. And what I was, I thank the gods. I am that no longer. Smarter, wiser, kinder, stronger, stronger, stronger. And what this is ecstasy, dripping from the pores of my face. A whirling dervish on my tongue, spinning round and round in place. And where I am right now is peaceful in a stream. Content, this is or isn't just a wrinkle in a dream.
Billy made parole. His number's up, they said him free, he's going home. To leave behind the only life he's ever known. So many years are gone. Billy made parole. His number's up, they said him free, he's going home. To leave behind the only life he's ever known. And on and on. Check it. Billy woke up to his last day in prison. Reality splashed him like a head-on collision. From here, every decision was strategic for position on the ladder of success to improve his living condition. 'Cause I'd rather be working on the street around the missus than in the penitentiary kitchen doing dishes. I stepped off the train at the station and caught glimpses, different ways the city grew without my presence as a witness, like the daughter I left behind. The realization of that thought made me proud and guilty at the same time, but the future inspires me to build those bridges that years of neglect allowed decay to settle in with the effects of my penitentiary time shift. I've been down since 95, so I'm trying to adjust my consciousness to the new world. They say the game don't change, only the faces, and your destiny's manufactured by the matrix. My family's glad to have me home. It's been since 1988 we had our last chance to zone. Now everybody's gone. A whole generation that raised me on making progress and staying strong. So I put the plan in motion, enrolled in art school, and started stealing supplies for my personal compulsions. I started silk screening my artwork on t-shirts and slanging them by the ocean to the tourists and the military recruits in slow motion. I gradually built a stable foundation. But I still feel like I've been released into an alienation because I look into the eyes of friends and see their souls trying to comprehend how Billy made parole. Billy made parole. His number's up, they said him free, he's going home. To leave behind the only life he's ever known. To face the world on his own. In prison, I always imagine how it would feel to be in the presence of real people who don't know what it's like not to be free, to walk along the beach at night, appreciate the stars, how they shine in the blackness of a universe that's ours to experience. So this time I'm living fearless, and I'ma burn through the interference from non-believers and critics, backstabbers who vomit gossip just as acidic as the eyewitness that pointed the finger that said I did it. Sometimes I didn't. Most of the time I did it. Ain't no reason to lie. To the dark side I was committed, but now I'm focused on how to rent this space so the kids who want to express themselves artistically have a place. I'm trying to be an asset to my community. Life is a game of survivor with no immunity idle. My chemistry is divinity driven. My strength and discipline was forged by the cold flames of prison. A new millennium Holocaust survivor on a mission, inspired by the likes of Donald Trump and Russell Simmons. I'm trying to make a miracle elixir out of these lemons so I can build a legacy I can leave to my children when I'm no longer living. Listen, Billy made parole. His number's up, they said him free, he's going home. To leave behind the only life he's ever known. To face the world on his own. Billy made parole. His number's up, they said him free, he's going home. To leave behind the only life he's ever known. And on and on. Check it out. Now, Billy sat in his favorite chair on the porch with his grandson in his lap, locked in the daydreamer stare. He reflected on the days before life became a maze and we became the vermin, racing, embracing our toxic ways. Back when as kids, we used to play outside on BMX bikes, then somewhere life took a different ride. There's too much pain to hide. He's lucky to be alive. From the cuts of the shattered dreams alone he could have died, but loyalty and strength was his pride. Plus, he survived triple life. Most of his life was on the inside, feeding the machine the fuel it needed to breed the next generation of souls to harvest for their greed. But he turned it around with the grace of Godspeed. Like the Count of Monte Cristo, the best revenge is to succeed. And he can be proud now because his business has achieved a level that sustains his family to never have a need. On top of that, he got infinite trees, plus a man cave to blast old school music with plasma TVs, throwing barbecues with a chosen few, drinking scotch, watching the kids play in the yard as we exchange our point of view. But every now and then, in the middle of the night, when his family's asleep, his memory takes flight. And he can still hear the sound of the heavy metal doors slam against the concrete and echo through the corridors. It's a trip how your fortune can flip. If you stick to the script the divine gave you at birth, you find you always been equipped to illustrate the destiny you desire for your soul. And for anybody wondering, that's how Billy made parole. Billy made parole. His number's up, they said him free, he's going home. to leave behind the only life he's ever known. A proud man who's fully grown. Thank you.
I dedicate this to everyone that's ever spoken a word of encouragement to someone else. My name is Samuel Nathaniel Brown, and this is called Forward. Forward march. My focal points to realize my mortality has been accepted, my most inspirational thoughts are collected, and I'm dedicated to my objective, which is remaining forwardly progressive. I don't mean to be aggressive. Well, that's not quite true, because I do. For I now better understand what's required to be an exceptional man, courtesy my studies of Alexander the Great, Mohandas Gandhi, Napoleon Bonaparte, King Shabaka, Hamilcar Barclay, and other great men of thought and heart. And I caught the Jews when they were pitched. Fortune favors the brave, he who cannot express himself as a slave, and the path is first beaten by those with the courage to pave the way into the future. It's multifaceted, but ultimately there's just one: forward. And nothing in the past, done in the past, stays in the past, is over what's said and done. Rather, it sets into motion a chain of events which manifest into the circumstances of today, all of which have culminated to me standing before you at this very moment and capturing your attention as I say, left, 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 right, left, forward, march into the future, because I refuse to be subjugated to the abuse of merely trying to amuse you, not to confuse your illusion, but spoken word is used because words spoken can move you to remove, then lose, then loosen a noose around your neck, resurrect and renew your faith in the unseen, often unbelieved, but nevertheless still yet to be. As I've learned, it is oftentimes that which I cannot see, which is more of a threat to me. A racist and his cause, coupled with a billionaire, a lobbyist, and their laws, is called independent interdependence, people. We all live and die under the same sun, moon, and stars. And it's been one long day. From the Assyrian age of 6000 BC, when the river people emerged along the Nile, the Niger, and the Congo, and the East Songi of Zaire introduced the mathematical abacus, when the Nile Valley civilizations commenced bringing us Nubia, Miro, and Napata, Kemet, to Egypt, Timbuktu, Greece to Rome, from malaria to a chariot, from Jesus to Judas Iscariot, from a pyramid to a temple to a cathedral to Marriott, torches to incandescent bulbs, the Industrial Revolution followed by the subsequent technological evolution. Yeah, polar caps in Siberia are melting, and a lot of inner city children fathers are missing because overcrowded prisons and pollution are the residuals of capitalism. But luckily, this life we live in is predicated upon change. And I don't know who moved my cheese, but until I find it, I'm gonna be running through this maze. My lips are powdery, my mouth is dry, my throat is parched, but my hand is up, my eyes are locked, my slacks are starched, my boots are shining, and I continue to storm into the halls of innovation. As a creative creator, creating new creations for recreation. Born in a nuclear nation, bent on the regulation of nuclear proliferation in other non-nuclear nations. Upon occasion, I watch the news, and I witness the woes of others, like the 300 girls in Nigeria that Boko Haram stole from their mothers, Crimea and Putin, the Ukraine and the US and the USSR, our children desensitized like, oh, it's just war, murder, murder, blood, guts, and gore. And how about all these automakers recalling so many of their best cars? Maybe it's time for some new automakers to produce some newer ones. All electric, solar-powered, or hybrid gas machine, green machines with eco-friendly fuselage. Call it Black Diamond Automotive. Our focus, producing cars that fly. Flying cars over the prison where I once made pruno and sharpened knives when I was blind. But now I'm alive. I want to make parole and sharpen lives, starting with minds. See, what is forward progressive thought? I hoped it would be self-explanatory. But in the spirit of ushering in clarity for those who don't quite understand my story, forward progressive thought is that wherein which if I have problems, I don't just complain about them. I apply myself to critical thinking in efforts that I can actually solve them. It's summoning the strength to walk away from a relationship that is spiritually, mentally, and or physically abusive. The ability to be 100% dissatisfied with thoughts and behaviors that aren't conducive to achieving goals that are elusive. It's being knowledgeable of the past, aware of the present, and mindful of the future. And the future is always now. Imagine seeing this world we live in today through the eyes of a child. Is it pitiful or typical, scientifical or a miracle? How what was once manual and traditional is now optional and digital. We got DigiKids and DigiTeens and DigiFiends needing DigiHits, give you Bitcoins and DigiBits for a DigiFix of DigiWare and DigiFlix and DigiGets your bread and gets. When your smart friend sent that text via internet courtesy nanotech, we don't know what's next. Woo! I think I need a synthetic joint followed by an electronic cigarette. Really is interesting. See, when Hillary is in her second term, domestic drones are as basic as a perm, and we upload information to our brain like the Matrix when it's time to learn, I'll be flying my car, streaming my beats, saying, Siri, I need to learn more for a journal. I'm blogging on the Inferno of Dante Alighieri. And if your cause is peaceful, I'll support it. Ignorance, I'll ignore it. Hate, I will abhor it. Compassion, I will adore it. Righteousness, I'm for it. If you have an idea, explore it. You may not think so, but it could be very important. One day you'll be colorless corpse stiff. It's how you finish, not what you start with. So if you know what you know and you believe what you believe and it's positive, then by all means, please, 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 we need you to continue to push forward.
This is our letter to the president. Controversy, controversy.
No matter how I feel about the commander-in-chief, somebody's always looking to curse me. If I say he's a great president, someone else says he ain't worthy. If I agree he's not worthy, another person advocates he's perfect. I guess pleasing everybody ain't the purpose of public service.
Controversy, controversy.
Dear Commander-in-Chief, please make it absolutely clear that you are far from a thief, because some perceive your office a stolen legacy and you're unworthy of the seat. But I beg to differ for obvious reasons. You're an inspiration to a whole generation of reasons. I must admit, I was a skeptic going in. 1600 Pennsylvania would never let us in. But look at you now. 2 terms in had me thinking, wow. And while others are thinking how to turn this into a political debate, I sit back and contemplate on how to use your landmark achievements as a tool to educate. Because whether they like you or not, your presence made them have to rewrite the rules. They're distracting us with arguments for sweeping reform when it's a well-known fact that changes come in fuse. Healthcare.
Check.
The DREAM Act.
Check.
The first black president.
Check.
It's too early in the game to forget about that. So on behalf of this story, I believe you're worthy of the utmost respect. Never mind those with a short attention span who choose to ignore that more than just house keys exchange hands. You inherit the launch codes and loads of other crap. You get the children more to aspire to than gangs and sports and rap. You set the bar high above the usual trap, and for that, I want to give you some doubt.
I looked for hope and change. Instead, I was hoodwinked and chained. I admit you receive unjust and undue blame, but there's some things you just can't explain all. Like how now if I believe what I read in the Word of God with the Supreme Court, the left wing, and your administration, Mr. President, I'm at odds. When did prayer become so contentious? Mr. President, when did the name of Christ Jesus become so offensive? And now a child who was just birthed into this world only taking one breath is already $50,000 in debt, and you call that progress? I digress as we divest the freedoms of the strikes and star. When the USA is starting to look like the USSR. Socialism will wreck the economies of the European Union, and now you want to make this the state of our union? Are you banking on the future of America on ideals that have failed? Are you afraid of the political fallout if you switch the ship's sail and catch the winds of Adam Smith on the libertarian currents, jettisoning the policies of Roosevelt? We both agree that equality is the solution. I just believe we should start out equally, but you believe in equal distribution. Mr. President, I'm proud you're in 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, but herein lies the controversy. I believe you're taking America down the wrong path.
But hold up, wait. Let me join this debate. Y'all acting like they ain't deliberately overstacked his plate. He stepped into a wreck with trillions of debt. And y'all wondering why we ain't out the red yet? This ain't no fairy tale. Man, they banking on him to fail so they can look down their pointy noses with all them I told you so's. Sure, he's the president, but he's just one man. Yet against incredible criticisms, he's taking a much-needed stand to ensure that every American will one day have the same lifespan. Pre-existing conditions can no longer be denied. Now my little niece can go get glasses for her eyes, while the right-wing Republicans is selling the public lies. But as long as they're against him, I'm going to be on his side. You see, from where I sit, ain't even no argument. Barack Obama is a great president, a man of the masses, and not the upper classes. His views on life mirror those of my mother and wife. You see, he comes from the slums, of which I come from. Never has there been a president who was a more common man. So am I a fan? Damn skippy I am. You see, because when I was a kid, there was an invisible political lid. So when I was pulled to the side those few times and told I could be president, I just knew it was a lie. But he's the same age as me, leader of the world that's free. And when he walks in the room, everybody salutes the commander-in-chief.
But hold up, wait. The chief of police, President Barack Obama's y'all man. Cut it out, homeboy. That sound foreign on the street. Complete sovereignty like the Black Panthers and Malcolm X sound more idea to me. Unquestioned devotion to the urban codes of the ghetto, which banished my support for your commander-in-chief. Pete, urban blues of my grandfather being battered and bruised by the dudes with the badges of white sheets who took his land and unfortunately his life. It seems one ultimatum like the crusade, you either convert or die. Your president's murder images of me, and you wonder why I choose to be a tribal survivalist? Indeed, blue redemption and black urban rage inside an unjust society that's decapitating my peers. Took it, like Tupac said, we shed so many tears. Biggie, the chorus that I'm playing is from the hand the system deal. Your president became spoke by Chuck Taylors. I understand how the fiance of Sean Bell felt. I pray one day Allah will take me away from all this misery and pain. They insane. Crimes against humanity that strong with the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King's. No, the brutalities of Rodney King. And definitely didn't end with the murders of Oscar Grant and Tyisha Miller. Trayvon Martin. Distrust in the system is naturally in us. They did too much wrong to follow them would be right. And a shout out to all you fakes and phonies. You see one black face and sins of the fathers or erased. And you wonder why we remain in a diminishing state. In this black urban holocaust, I'll survive by any means necessary. Free Palestine.
But hold up, wait. Controversy. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. He gave us Osama bin Laden, change in hope. Insurance for all the poor folk. So no matter what you say, I'm chanting USA, USA. Because I see a better future on the way. Yes, we can is in my mind. Obama helped us unite together as one country. It's no longer about color or race, because look at his face. So now our past history has been erased. We're finally getting a taste of what freedom means. So let go of the hate and chase
your dreams. Hold up, wait. Does black skin mean I have to agree with everything he believes, or do I have the freedom to believe and think for myself? And should the greatness of his achievements overshadow the gravest of bereavements, Obamacare? They talk about not denying pre-existing conditions, but what happens when in the name of health our freedoms become non-existent? And it's not so much about you, Mr. Obama, that you'll take advantage of this law, but there's people coming behind you that don't believe that freedom belongs to all. And when it comes to our military, you strip them to the bones. I believe you become over-relying on unmanned drones. But it's the intellect of men like Patton and Benjamin O. Davis that made our military elite. While I believe in diplomacy, we can't allow it to lull us to sleep. We're the city on the hill, the light of the world, and we bear the sword for a reason. In Crimea, we should have been doing military exercises, determined to the annexation, and we should be rescuing the young women of the Nigerian nation. Hashtag bring our girls home. Mr. President, you must remember that freedom has a price, and it also has a responsibility. Mr. President, you I like, but your policies I don't. And that's why it's controversy.
Hold up, wait. The way I hear you spelling out Obama, it sounds like O, B,
boy,
A,
ain't,
M,
my,
A,
ally.
Well, I don't agree with that, and I'm more than obliged to explain to you why. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, I'm told. Well, silly me, but isn't it the politician that holds affirmative action there's no need for? Discrimination is legal, as engaged can't marry their people and women shouldn't have pay that is equal? Isn't he, bro, the antithesis to my impoverished community's residents who overcame gerrymandering, redistricting, and disenfranchisement to help set precedent and elect the first president of African descent? I truly resent the remarks you represent and request that you reassess, recollect, retrospect, and repent for such blasphemy. I mean, answer me. You speak so knowledgeable and sing so passionately. Who was the last commander-in-chief to inherit such grief? 3 wars, a Tea Party, and a recession, and handle this so masterfully. It's called imperturbability, alleged to be impossible by somebody like me. A black man as the elected leader of the free world was such an unlikely sight to see that even 2 years into his second term was still engrossed in all of this controversy. Well, while everyone may have an opinion, and that's great, the election has already been won, and there's no need for a debate. Thus, I'd rather speak to you directly, Mr. Barack Obama. Dear Mr. President, I am a black male in prison. I accept responsibility for my decisions, but in no way pretend to have been unaffected by the systemic racism that plagues our system. I've listened, As people call you the Antichrist, token Negro puppet of the Zionist society that really runs the high seat of Babylon. How you, Oprah, Michelle, Kanye, and Jay-Z are the Illuminati and all the other stuff they babble on. Let them ramble on, because their mouths are open, but their eyes are closed so they can speak but can't see. What you truly represent to the future as well as to history, to them as well as to me. See, it's like 21st century wizardry, mental alchemy. Whenever feeling miserably, it helps for me to fill my faculties with memories of great people from my ancestry. I summon the spirits of Hannibal the General, Machiavelli the Rider, George Jackson the Defiant, and Marcus Garvey the Giant, Elijah Muhammad the Prophet, Heru the Heroic, Rakim the God, and Langston Hughes the Poet. I summon the spirits of the Tuskegee Airmen and Buffalo Soldiers, Che Guevara the Revolutionary, and Medgar Evers. I summon the spirit of Nat Turner the Rebel, Mandela the Born Leader, Brad Jordan the Born Thriller, Martin Luther King the Preacher, Ramesses the King, Imhotep the Wisest, the Strength of Samson, and the Power of Osiris. I summon the spirits of Mr. H. Rap Brown, the Phillies Haile Selassie, and I'll never back down. And though most of them have physically passed on, I still recall their struggles to keep me strong. And now I want you to know, Mr. Barack Obama, even though you live on, I now summon your spirit to keep me strong. And in this spirit, may you forever live on, even amidst all of this controversy. And that was my truth.
And that was my truth. And this is my truth.
And that was my truth.
And that was my truth.
And this is my truth.
And that is our letter to the president.
Exit out the birth canal with a blowing gasket. Not thinking properly, mental tumor massive. No zen, so my thoughts stay sadistic. Treat others like self with wounds self-inflicted. Truth being spoken, but somehow I'm missing it. Words into my ears, but somehow I ain't listening. I'm like 40 DNA, though I look the same. I'm a different model, different make. Voluntary recall from the manufacturer. Complete restoration free, only get sought after. I see the guarantee.